I'm accepting this for the visionaries who dare to build alone, because great ideas don't come from committees. The words echoed through the cavernous ballroom, slick and self-congratulatory. On stage, my former business partner, Silas Vance, held the Crystal Pyramid of the Innovator of the Year award. The spotlight caught the trophy, exploding in a starburst of white gold light that seemed to erase everything else in the room. He was a silhouette of success. I sat at a table in the back, the crisp linen of the tablecloth cold beneath my fingers. My lawyer, Ms. Tanaka, gave my arm a slight squeeze. He built nothing, I murmured, just loud enough for her to hear. He just stole the blueprints. It felt like another lifetime when I first met Silas. We were two of a dozen hopefuls at a tech incubator, subsisting on stale coffee and the electric hum of ambition. He was the pitchman, the charismatic front, with a jawline that could cut glass and a laugh that made venture capitalists open their wallets. I was the architect, the coder, the quiet one who actually built the thing. We bonded over 3 a.m. debugging sessions, fueled by cheap pizza and the shared dream of creating something that would last. I remember the night our platform, Synapse, finally went live. He sat on the floor of our shoebox office, drinking lukewarm beer, and he grabbed a marker to map our 5-year plan on the whiteboard. He looked at me, his eyes bright with genuine excitement, and said, "We're going to change the world, Liam. You and me." The first red flag was so small I barely registered it. In an early pitch meeting, he presented a complex piece of my algorithm architecture, as if he devised it himself that morning. When I brought it up later, he just laughed, slinging an arm around my shoulder. "Lighten up, man. You have to sell the dream, not the details." I was the details. I let it go. Our first 2 years were a blur of success. We landed Veridian Logistics, a multi-million-dollar account that put us on the map. We celebrated at the Perennial, drinking ridiculously expensive Japanese whiskey as Silas charmed the Veridian executives. He was in his element, a conductor of people and money. I was happy to stay in the background, refining the code, making our AI-driven logistics platform faster, smarter. Synapse was my baby. But slowly, the foundation began to crack. Silas insisted on handling all client and investor relations, arguing I was more valuable deep in the code. He took sole control of our corporate bank accounts to streamline payables. He hired an assistant, a sharp-eyed woman named Zara, without so much as a conversation with me. I was being compartmentalized in the company I'd co-founded. I told myself it was just an efficient division of labor. I was a fool. Betrayal announced itself not with a bang but with a sterile, automated email. "Your payment to Oz has been declined." Impossible. We just closed a $75,000 seed round. I tried to log into our business banking portal. Access denied. A cold dread, sharp and metallic, bloomed in my chest. I spent that night digging. Using the back-end admin credentials I'd hard-coded into our system, a failsafe I'd never imagined needing, I pulled months of server logs. There it was. A ghost platform running on our servers, a mirror image of Synapse but with a different name, Nexus. It was registered to a new LLC, one with a single director, Silas Vance. He was using our resources, our servers, and my proprietary code to build a carbon copy of our company, planning to cut me out and take our clients with him. The investigation took 3 weeks of sleepless nights and frantic secret work. I unearthed emails where he referred to me as a former contractor. I found the 18 wire transfers, totaling $82,400, siphoned from our joint Synapse account into his personal Nexus account. He was methodically erasing me. The end came in the Veridian Logistics conference room. I walked in for our quarterly review and found Silas, Zara, and the entire Veridian team already seated. Silas stood up, his face a mask of polite condescension. "Liam, I thought we agreed your services were no longer needed. This is a high-level strategy session for the next phase. Your technical work is done. Thanks for everything, but the visionaries are taking it from here." The room fell silent. Hum of the projector fan filled the void. The Veridian executives exchanged confused glances. In that frozen moment, as the casual cruelty of his words landed, the vague notion of revenge sharpened into a detailed step-by-step plan. My gaze drifted past him to the whiteboard on the wall. Faintly, under the ghosting of 1,000 erased meetings, was a diagram. My diagram. The core architecture of Synapse, drawn 2 years ago with a permanent marker by mistake. It was the one piece of evidence he couldn't delete. The next day, I was in the office of Ms. Tanaka, a formidable IP attorney whose reputation preceded her. She reviewed my evidence, the server logs, the financial records, the emails, with a grim, focused intensity. "This is surgical," she said, "but it will be expensive." Her initial retainer was $20,000. It was nearly every dollar I had. The weeks that followed were a tightrope walk of paranoia. I was sure I would be discovered. One afternoon, I saw Zara leaving Ms. Tanaka's building. My heart hammered against my ribs. I ducked into a doorway, my mind racing. She must have seen me, it's over. But Silas's arrogance was my greatest shield. He never imagined I had the will or the resources to fight back. Ms. Tanaka assembled our arsenal. We had timestamp code commits proving my authorship. We had the 18 fraudulent wire transfers. We had a sworn affidavit from a freelance developer Silas had tried to hire, who recognized my code and, bless his ethical soul, contacted me. And then the universe delivered the most beautiful piece of irony. The annual Tech Innovator Awards were being sponsored by Veridian Logistics. Silas, peddling Nexus as his solo masterpiece, was the frontrunner for the grand prize. Our strategy was two-pronged. First, a decoy. Ms. Tanaka sent a standard demand letter for the missing $82,400. Silas responded with an offer of a $5,000 severance package, a final, insulting nail in the coffin of our partnership. He thought it was just about money. He had no idea the real attack was coming for his reputation, his creation myth, his very identity as an innovator. He was walking into an ambush of his own making. At the gala, as Silas walked off the stage clutching his award, I stood up from my table, blocking his path. As Tanaka and a man in a nondescript suit, a court process server, rose with me. I thought visionaries didn't need a technical co-founder, I said, my voice even. Silas scoffed, his smile tight with annoyance. Liam, this is not the time or place. He tried to brush past me. I didn't move. Ms. Tanaka stepped forward. The process server handed Silas a thick envelope. Mr. Vance, you've been served. He ripped it open, his eyes scanning the first page. Fraud. His face paled, but the bravado held. Money squabble, he muttered to the people at his table who were now watching intently. We'll sort it. It's also for intellectual property theft, Ms. Tanaka said. Her voice was not loud, but it was perfectly pitched to carry to the nearby tables, including the one seating the CEO of Veridian Logistics. We have the server logs, Mr. Vance, and the original code's digital watermark, the one you couldn't erase. The crystal award suddenly seemed too heavy for his hand. The color drained from his face as his eyes darted from me to the stone-faced Veridian CEO, then back again. The polished mask of the visionary shattered, revealing the panicked, hollow man underneath. He began to stammer, a string of incoherent noises. It's over, Silas. You built nothing. The fallout was immediate and spectacular. Industry blogs lit up with the news. By morning, the awards committee had publicly rescinded his Innovator of the Year title. By noon, Veridian Logistics had terminated their contract with Nexus, citing a fundamental breach of ethics. His seed investors pulled out before the end of the day. The case never made it to court. Faced with irrefutable evidence, Silas settled. I received a judgment for $150,000 and, more importantly, full, uncontested legal ownership of the source code. My source code. 6 months later, I saw him. Not in a boardroom, but behind the counter at a Best Buy, his shoulders straining the seams of a blue polo shirt. The visionary fire was gone from his eyes, replaced by a weary resignation as he explained the benefits of an extended warranty to a bored-looking couple. I relaunched the platform under a new name, Ghostland, a quiet nod to the faint, indelible diagram on that old whiteboard. My new office is small, but it has a large window that floods the room with morning light. I have a team of 4 brilliant people who I trust completely. The work is peaceful now, solid. My lead investor recently asked about the name. I told her that while great ideas may not come from committees, they deserve to be protected from those who try to build alone on stolen ground. The calm I feel now isn't about victory. It's the quiet satisfaction of reclaiming what was mine. He never saw me coming, because in all our time together, he never really saw me at all.